AFib is a leading cause of stroke in the U.S., and sadly many people don't even know that they have it until a serious medical event occurs because people often do not experience any symptoms. Dr. Paul Burton and Dr. C. Michael Gibson are here with news of a new study that may help detect the problem earlier. Welcome, doctors.
Hi, Elsa. Good morning.
Happy to have you here. So, Dr. Burton, I want to start with you. How common is AFib, and why is it so difficult to diagnose?
We know that around the world, about 30 million people have an irregular heartbeat or atrial fibrillation. And here in the United States, there's about 6 million people living with atrial fibrillation. It's an important condition because 1 in 7 strokes is due to atrial fibrillation. So it's common, it has significant consequences, but it's relatively easy to diagnose. It's just in many people, it's asymptomatic, so they don't know that they're living with it. But using, for example, Apple Watch, you can detect atrial fibrillation, and you can then be funneled to care, and it can be easily treated. So that is why Johnson & Johnson has collaborated with Apple and designed the Heartline study.
What are the risk factors, and who would be most likely to have AFib?
So we know that atrial fibrillation tends to track with other conditions like diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and particularly importantly for Heartline, we know that the risk of AFib goes up substantially as you get older, particularly over 65. So Heartline is a study that allows people over 65 to be enrolled into the study. You do not need to have had atrial fibrillation, but you do need to be over the age of 65.
Dr. Gibson, tell us more about this study.
Well, we're really excited to have your audience in Baltimore participate. This is a virtual study, meaning that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. So if you're 65 or older and you have traditional Medicare and have an iPhone 6 or higher, we hope you'll participate. We're going to use that iPhone to educate you about your heart health, and some of you will get randomly picked to get the Apple Watch, and we will see, can we detect some of those 2 million cases of silent or asymptomatic AFib that are out there? And then also, possibly, can we reduce the risk of stroke? Again, keep in mind that 1 out of 7 strokes are due to this irregular rhythm. If we can detect it, perhaps we can reduce that risk of stroke.
You mentioned you do not need to have an active diagnosis to participate?
You do not have to have a diagnosis of AFib. In fact, we want people who don't have AFib because one of the goals is to detect silent atrial fibrillation in some of those 2 million people who are walking around who don't know they have it.
And where can someone sign up to join the Heartline study?
Yes, Elsa, so people can just go to heartline.com. As Dr. Gibson said, you need the 6S or more recent. You then get randomized to a watch or no watch. We wanted to make sure that cost is not a barrier to enrollment in the study. So if you're randomized to the watch arm, you can then purchase the watch at a study-specific reduced price. There's even a no-cost loan option. So if you're randomized to the watch, you can loan the watch, return it at the end of the study. And as I say, heartline.com, easy to sign up.
All right, doctors, really great information is going to help a ton of people. So thank you so much for being with us. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.